Say, we are live now. Okay, we're live. What is the question?
How can we use breath to clear our mind
Mhm.
and open us up for connection to the unknown?
Okay, yeah. You know, when you are dead, what goes out? The breathing goes out. When people do anesthesia, the pain is not noticed, but the breathing is still there. So, breathing is the vital force, vital energy. It's more than oxygen. That's why the word chi or prana, but the life force, it relate with the brain and the mind. When we slow down the breathing and longer and longer and longer, like normal breathing is going on, the same breathing, like the same way as you are stretching the rubber, the same way, slowly, 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 inhale and exhale, slow and deep, slow and deep. Even the three breath, you would find the brain waves calm down, like the waves, the brain and the mind calm down. That is the one pranayama, one process to quieten the mind. Then, if the mind is quiet in the real sense, in the quiet mind, in the silent mind, it's a different, what someone says, only in the silence of mind, the voice of God can be heard. This is the universal language which everybody already knows. That's how the plants communicate, the animals communicate without the hodgepodge of words. Now, no matter hundreds of languages in the world, they give us some convenience, but more confusion and more confusion, many times more. So, what is the universal language? Is the silence, which is known and unknown, both are involved in it. What is the language beyond the dream when your mind is silent in the sound sleep? In the sound sleep, there is no good, bad, right, wrong. It's beyond the thought waves. So it shows us there is another state which is beyond the mind. You want to understand it, you already know it, but to figure it out, like the computer screen does not know who is sitting in front of it, Maharaji or Dr. Lenny or doing any movie or anything. It knows and it doesn't know, is unknown. Like the sunlight, the air, it does not choose and classify whose house I'll go, whose house I don't go. So when you transcend the worries, the miseries of life, you enter a new kingdom of heaven. New kingdom of heaven means a new life, which is never disturbed, never perturbed, because it's beyond the elements. It's beyond the elements, earth, water, fire, the body and mind. That's why people call or talk about the soul or eternal spirit, which never born, never dies. And it seems like our mind try to figure it out with the mind. No, once you know that mind has its own limitations, what tool it has to know? Only the stored up knowledge. The stored up knowledge in the mind, by the mind, of the mind, which is very tiny little, how it can know the infinite. The other way round, when it is free from the known. That's what happened in the sound sleep. Freedom from the known, it enters a new eyes, third eye. That's the eye of the unknown. It's way beyond. And it does not need to know because infinite wholeness already is. You are it, but somehow you have invested into the onion. Onion means the layers and layers and layers of mind, liking, dislike, knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. This knowledge is ignorance because it's always incomplete. You know one thing, then you don't know other thing. So like the dream state. Like the treadmill. You're running, jogging, 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 reaching nowhere. That's how the mind is trying to figure out, seeking, try to know it, which is unknowable. Because the wholeness already isness is here now. But our ego and mind has made a heap of cow dung of the memory, after one after another, and the real reality is covered up. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we do like this, the mind to the heart. Mind to the heart. This is a new greeting. And from ego to the egoless state, the heart. From words to the silence. And the heart has its own dance. It does not need to know. Like the beautiful sunlight, does it brag about, oh, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm bringing, spreading vitality? The infinite bliss is crying for the people that why you are so big fool that you get invest such a precious life into mundane only like a rat race, food, clothes, shelter, and they always are reflection only. They always up and down, up and down, up and down. Pleasure, pain, loss and gone, name and fame are all the same. Appear like pleasure, pain, changing, pleasure. But once you are wake up or enlightened, then the mind slowly like a cobra, it start dancing and it become your friend. It become no mind. It's there, but it's no more bugging you. And that's the real wealth. That's the blissful state. Non-reactive mind. Otherwise, the mind running you around like a yo-yo. The rich, the poor want to become rich. Those who are very rich, they want to become poor. They have too much. Yeah, the fear continues the same. That is the proof of the body-mind. That's the difference in material and spiritual. Material means always try to be complete, try to be complete, try to be complete. Otherwise want more. Unless it dies, what actually dies? The spatial breathing. The spatial breathing look healthy, wealthy, big guys, and like a tire is punctured, boom, gone. So is the precious life that don't waste the life, don't invest this quality of attention into mundane mud. Yes, the mind is like a not only treadmill, but it's like a circle, continuous circle. Never reach anywhere because it is a reflection. It's very not different than a like a, a train moving in a movie or on computer. What you have to say, Jenny?
Well, it sounds like maybe you're saying that our mind is like an observer watching a movie. So the goal, is there a goal then of releasing that observation to no longer observe?
Oh, no, mind, the ego is separate, it there's watching, but who is watching whom? The in the sound sleep, in order to watch, you have a subject and you have an object. In the sound sleep, there is no subject and object. You subject is object become the subject, subject become the object. So this duality recognize that it is non-dual appearance. It's only a reflection you have, and then you have your reflection. When you move in the house, there is no reflection. So subject-object division, when you can see that this is the nature of the mind to create the subject and object in order to play the dance. The thinking process is the create the division, the subject and object. But when you are fully aware into the awareness, then the duality disappear. It appear like dual. You have seen the mirage, it appear like this, like you put a water, the full moon, and the moon is there in the water. Is the moon there in the water? No. So the same way, when the mind is not the word in control, but in the language we are talking, that when the mind is silent, then what happens? That the joy of life is at full spectrum. Otherwise, no matter how rich you are, no matter how degrees you have, no matter what kind of face you have to, if you have a monkey donkey mind, you are nothing but the status of monkey donkey. That's all. So above the shoulders, whatever you're carrying, the little machine, that is your life. If you are worried, and no matter what you have, you are equally miserable, no matter how famous you are. So then those miserable people, anxietyful people inside, because I have been with some of the most rich people in the world and most miserable, rich, famous, and most miserable. So what they are looking the peace of mind. But not knowing that it is their own mind creating. Because the outside world does not. They have tried it all, whether independent owning an island, but much more miserable by going there actually, because there is no coming, there is no coming and going unless the mind is gone. So the in Asia or in Buddhist culture they call it no mind. So no mind does not mean that the mind is not there. No, it's there when needed. Like nothing wrong with the money and mind, good as a servant, bad as a master. But once who has awakened to the reality, to the truth, or you can call the word the wholeness or isness or fullness, then no coming, no going. You have arrived home. You can put other words, Siddha, enlightened, awakened, all bunch of words. Words don't matter. Like the H2O has 100 names. Aqua, Ba, Ba, Ba. Those are man-made. The water does not even know that I'm called by 100 names by the people. So therefore, naturally, the mind born out of awareness is restless unless it is find the mother's womb where it came from. Means the father in some culture. The fear is always there. That's the nature of the mind. The body is there. But this body mind can be a vehicle when you leave it alone. Means understand what is temporary, false, reflective nature. Reflective nature. What is the absolute? Have any question?
I keep coming back to one idea, and that is empty the mind and let happen. Am I getting the right message?
What are you saying? To empty the mind?
Whenever we want to be conscious, to attain a higher level of understanding, the one what should I say, the one goal that I see repeating is an empty mind. Achieve an empty mind.
No, like who is it looking? Who is it trying to make a goal out of it? No.
Mhm.
Then another trap. You're trapping yourself. You're trying to lift yourself with your own shoes.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. That's why. That's why some people say in the material, in there. Okay, if you are sick, you go to doctor. You want to awaken, you need a guru. Guru means that who can show the stupidity of your own egotistic attitude. That means living that life which is so free, so wholeness. It was always when you were pure hearted, even 5-year old, you always had it. You always, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get into this mud, into the mess of the mind, the ego? So, you have collected the mud, who will clean it? There are gurus who say they will clean, but then they you get again into other muddy mud. It is very simple because it is too simple. You like to buy the methods which involve again time factor and effort and another ego. That's whole the spiritual practices. Befool you. The Sadguru, the real master, will not become only guru as a guru, but more like a light, more like a mirror, like the Sadguru Krishnamurti Maharaj ki jai. The same way Sadguru Ramana Maharishi ki jai. That means what? They were the light without putting you into this divisional difference that the guru and the disciple. But it's all oneness, is wholeness. Only like the sun give you the sunlight without saying, I'm the sun giver and you are the taker. It's the one whole process, not the subject and the object, but appears as two. So there are people who are that damn fool who go and practicing 5-year, 10-year, 20-year. That is also their own karma. Nobody can give you anything, but appears like giving. And there are people who like to buy that. Like health is not for sale, the real health. But of course, there are people giving injections, and as you said, the program, artificial rejuvenation called HGH and this and that, as you understood better. The same way life already is. Anything is available when you put your heart into it. But only very burning people, only warrior, peaceful warrior. They don't act and react. What a beautiful wealth when you have a calm mind, non-reactive mind, non-monkey mind. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That is the real prosperity. Even 55-year-old can return to the innocence of 5-year-old when you have that's like the bypass surgery of the mind which is anxietyful mind. Otherwise, you are a walking memory chip. No matter how suited, booted, decorated you are, name, fame, none of those things, because inside you are a chaos. Now the satsang we are trying to look at, there are people who don't even want to look at. They just roll on, and their life is gone. They never see what they missed. Unexamined life is not worth living. And the most important thing in life is to find out what is the most important thing. And when you put your head and heart into it, like Buddha did, like some scientists did, they found there is not a thing. It is not a thing. It's all empty. All empty fullness appears as things, but it's empty. Even the top scientists found out that atom is energy, is not a thing, but no thingness, emptiness, energyness. I can explain and talk hours and hours, but there is nothing. And nobody can give it to anyone because there is nothing to give. It's not a mango that one give to other. One can only point out what already you are. Tattvamasi. Thou art that. Thou art it. Here, now. That's why people miss it. It's too simple. Simpler than the simplest. Anything to say?
Nothing more.